Let's talk 2022 CrossFit goals.
Yes. Let's.
Do you have like various goals, like a gymnastics goal? Or do you have more like a weight goal, like what you want to be able to lift?
I do have a few goals. I kind of just was like, what would I really like to do? So for me, especially since last year, I was just injured and just not, I didn't really know about that I should really be activating my butt muscles. And I
That's gonna be
wasn't,
let's mark that down for a whole
yeah,
episode because
totally. Yeah. So I had a few things going on, just not doing the kinds of self-care I needed to be doing.
mhm.
And yeah, it's strengthening certain muscles and lengthening other muscles and that kind of stuff. So my top goal, because that kind of took me out for a bit and nobody wants that. So my top goal is as simple as just stay healthy, no illnesses or injuries.
Mhm.
So I think that's appropriate at my age to, you know. But then there's like the goals that would be fun to do.
Mhm.
So I think it'd be just cool to clean and jerk my body weight to be able to do
Mm,
that. It just
that'd be
sounds like,
so badass.
yeah, it sounds fun and sounds impressive. And
Yeah.
that would be cool. So I'm going to go for that. Now, that I happen to also have that on my 2020 list.
But that
um,
was before you knew how to activate your glutes.
it's true. That is true. So that should help.
So, what is your current clean and jerk?
So I have done only 100,
Okay.
and I actually did that in 2020 as well as 2021. But I think if I did it, like, let's say if I did it today
Mhm.
before the or like instead of this workout, I'm pretty confident I could have done 105 because I definitely can clean at least 105.
Mhm.
I've, you know, and just the last time I was working on clean and jerk, like I just didn't get up to, I was tired by the time I got
Mhm.
up to like trying 105,
Yeah.
but I think that I probably could now. And then, so I probably only, I do have, I don't know. I don't really have a sense now if like 10, because 10 more pounds doesn't sound like a lot, except when you say, well, that's like
Right.
almost
Well, there's a
10%
percentage. Yeah.
more. So
Yeah.
I really don't know how realistic this is either,
Mhm.
but here, I'm going to put it down.
Yeah. Absolutely.
This is the year.
Absolutely.
Do you want to say any of your goals or did you want me to keep going?
Well, I did have a question
Mm,
about so you said when before you even got to 105, you were just tired. I feel that I warm up like my body needs incremental weight increase.
mhm.
So, right, I watch some of these other people that will just like go get tens and throw it on. I'm like, ooh,
Yeah.
I can't, I don't, I'm not confident or something. So then there's that balance of, am I doing too much warm up
Yeah.
to try and PR something? Like, what is the balance? So I've tried to start out like in a warm up just a little heavier than I normally would in order to like just use the 2.5s and the 5s to keep getting up there. But I was curious um, if you've thought about that or if you sometimes are like, did I just do too many warm up reps?
Yeah. Yeah, I have the same question, basically. Yeah, it does take me long to warm up, and it is cold in my gym now because we don't have heat in the winter. So
Oh my goodness.
yeah, um, Yeah. So
On
I
purpose?
don't know. Yeah. I think he's happy with that.
Huh.
We don't have air conditioning in the summer either, which that would freaking kill me. If I wouldn't be able to do the evening classes in the summer.
No.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
like at 4:30, 5:30, 6:30.
No.
No.
I need to get to the gym in the summer before noon. Else it's
Yeah.
sweltering.
Yeah. So that would bother me more than the heat issue. That said, I mean, we haven't had that many freezing or below days
Yeah.
yet. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not New England or anything or like
Right.
the Midwest. Yeah, Michigan.
Yeah. It's not
It's not
Michigan or
Wisconsin.
Massachusetts,
Yeah.
not Minnesota.
No.
Um, well, I so in like an Olympic lifting capacity, I'd like to be able to snatch. I'd like to do a full snatch of like 100.
Mhm. Wow.
Uh, but I don't know again how realistic that is.
What do you do now?
So my current PR is 75.
Okay.
Um, and part of that is I know the like fear factor in my head of failing in front of people. So I
That's like
do,
a huge percentage jump.
yeah. But I can, like I had clean and jerked 100 multiple times. There's just something about that snatch movement.
Oh yeah, I mean, snatches for everybody. You can't do. I think most people can do, what is it, like 70 or 80% of their
Okay.
of a clean.
Okay, that
Yeah,
makes sense.
something
So
like
I
that.
do think that what I would like to do in order to be a little bit more of like a process goal is I'd like to record myself in the beginning of January, just using a PVC pipe and doing some snatches and maybe some cleans. And then I really want to focus on my thoracic mobility because I know that is limiting for me in those lifts.
Mhm.
I probably need to really dedicate daily doing
Mm,
some thoracic mobility stuff
yeah.
because I love watching. There's one lady on YouTube and Instagram that I've started following named Christy Pope, and she's an Olympic lifter. And her snatch is, I mean, it's so fast. She's in the bottom before you even know it. Like the form, it's just such this a work of art.
Mhm.
And I want to be able to be more fluid.
Mhm.
And I want to, even if I don't lift more, I want to feel like I have a better sense of what I'm doing with my body.
Mhm.
And I do think that might come from having a little bit more mobility in my upper spine. So when I am down in the bottom, I'm not like leaning forward or
Mhm.
trying to like
Right.
figure out where my upper half is. So when it comes to some sort of ollie type thing, I think I want to just take a couple videos and see the improvement over time with
Mm.
just speed and then that my mobility. Yeah.
I like process oriented goals a lot because if you put the time in or you put the efforts in regularly like that, you're going to, like, the results will come automatically. And it's focusing on something you can control.
Right. Instead of having this like idea in my head of I want to snatch 100 pounds, like maybe
Yeah.
that's just not right for my body. And
Yeah.
maybe I'll get to that. I don't know. But
Yeah.
yeah, having this idea of I'm just going to really work on this mobility piece
Yeah.
and open things up.
Yeah.
Um, Now, that said, I do want to do a sumo deadlift that's in the 200s
Mhm. Yeah.
just because I can
Yeah.
sumo deadlift more than deadlift. But
Yeah. That makes sense. I wouldn't, I would think you get there before you get to your 100
oh,
pound
yeah.
snatch. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. I'm already comfortably able to do multiples at like 165.
Yeah. Cool.
But I also feel like I am slow to add weight because I get nervous about my lower back.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, deadlifts are scary to me a little bit.
Mm.
Yeah, which is funny because I'll just like throw weights over my head like it's no big deal.
You'll throw a kettlebell behind you.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's a little scary.
It's scary. I've only thrown a frisbee behind me because I just really suck at frisbee.
I
Woo!
guess I really suck at kettlebell. Not
I
anymore.
think you
but
do,
no,
but
I used to. Yeah. I mean, but I was just learning. That was,
yeah,
I hadn't done it that many times
yeah.
before I dropped
Kettlebell.
it behind me. Kettlebell. I thought about that during
Kettlebell.
the workout. I was like,
I just I love the hip thrusting in a kettlebell swing.
Mhm.
Like one of the things I do for the bodybuilding is kettlebell high pulls. So
Mhm.
single arm kettlebell high pulls.
Oh, single arm. Wow.
And it's just so fun. And I do have right now, I'm doing 10 or 12 or 15, I don't remember, single arm alternating. So
Oh.
the bell goes up
Mhm.
and I let it go and I have it with the other hand.
Oh, wow. That's fun.
So it's like a party trick.
Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah.
I just love being at the gym.
Yeah.
Do you have any other, well, okay, so we talked about like an Ollie type goal. And I said I have a sumo deadlift goal. What about, do you have some sort of like strength goal?
No, I guess not. I mean, that was kind of my strength goal, I
Well,
guess.
it is, yeah.
No,
Right, because you
I
need
don't
to
have,
build
yeah.
more strength in order to
Mhm.
be able to do
Mhm.
the squat clean
Mhm.
into a jerk.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I already have very good form and stuff.
Hmm.
So it's mostly a strength piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about a gymnastics? Do you have anything for gymnastics?
I was thinking, God, would I love to be able to do butterfly pull-ups?
Oh,
Doesn't that look,
it looks so
it
freaking
looks so
cool
fun.
and
Yeah.
fun. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess you'd pick that up really quickly
I
if
might,
you
if
got
I have
coached
the
into it.
strength and yeah, I'm
So I
not
think
sure.
the like rule of thumb, at least at our gym, is something like you should be able to do 10 strict pull-ups
In a row.
before you try to do some
Mm, I
butterfly.
I probably have a ways to go before I could do 10 unbroken strict pull-ups. Yeah, I don't actually know how many I could do right now, but I probably can only do like 4 strict in a row, 3 or 4, possibly 5 max. So yeah, I gotta be a little stronger. But I don't know, maybe by the end of the year,
Oh yeah.
we'll see.
Right.
I think,
And it also depends, like if you decide on having a process around that, like what would be, are you gonna do like
yeah. See,
extra work?
that's the thing. I do love process goals in sort of things in the rest of my life, and we can talk about just like habits. I have a bunch of new habits I want to form, and I do have some good habits now. But as far as like processes, I think I'm a little bit lazy about that. Like, I'm more with these things, I'm like, oh, wouldn't it be fun if, but really, do I want to do anything different than
Mm,
go to my CrossFit classes 4 or 5 times a week?
hmm.
I'm not sure. Maybe I'll be like, okay, because it just to do a few pull-ups each day after the class, that's not bad. Maybe I can do that.
Hmm.
Unless it's like a class that I've already killed those muscles or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, that's actually a good idea.
Yeah. To have like the accessory time.
Yeah, because otherwise it's just, these goals are just like, why set them if you're not gonna do
Mm,
anything to get them?
hmm.
So,
Yeah.
but my other ones, I mean, another one that has been on my list before. So I've done, I don't know if you've ever heard Gretchen Rubin's podcast, The Happiness Project or Happier. Yeah, Happier.
Mm-mm.
They do every year like And I started in 2019, 19 for 2019. Like you just set like a bunch of
Oh,
19, they don't have to be real goals, but they're kind of like 19 things you want to do or accomplish or whatever.
okay.
And so I did 19 for 2019. I did 20 for 2020. I did 21 for 21. And so 19 for 2019, it's interesting. I just looked through them and I don't have one fitness goal for that year. Oh, no, I did. I have RX a workout was my goal. And I
Oh,
accomplished that probably because there was a goal with like just running or just rowing or something like that. I've never RX one with weights, but I I think that might have been the only fitness goal in 2019. I'm kind of breezing through. Yeah. Okay. And then 2020, I had these things I have not accomplished, like we said, clean and jerk my body weight. I have not accomplished, well, increase my neck flexibility and comfort. That was one that's related, and I did accomplish that. Um, Thanks to my roller mostly. That was awesome. That was a big success. And where's, because I don't like, I did have master double unders also, which I did not accomplish. And I wrote in my notes, I wrote, not quite, but improved. So that was in 2020. In 2021, they did not get any better. In fact, they devolved for a while. Like I was having a really hard time, and either a month or two ago, I was like, okay, I'm gonna set them aside for a bit. Like, why get so frustrated,
yeah.
And like our owner coach, he said double unders are the least functional thing we do here. So, you could just do single unders all the time. And, that's
Hmm.
like hard, it gets your
Yeah.
heart rate up and all that.
Yeah.
So for a while, I didn't even try them for a bit. And then I guess I just got back to them really this week. We had a Tabata one day of just double unders as part of the day on, I think it was Tuesday. And so I practiced them during that, and I ended up doing 64 in the Tabata. So sometimes, I think maybe I did like 10 in a row once or twice, something like that.
Nice.
But I think
Yeah.
my record is like 17, and I've devolved from that. I I can't do that anymore. They're really janky. So to use our favorite word or one of our favorite words,
Gosh.
they look super
Check out
janky.
my janky double unders.
So I think maybe this is the year, but again, it's like, do I want to put extra effort into doing it? I'm not sure, but I'm gonna write it down anyway. I know it's not the best to like just write it down and hope it happens, but we'll see.
Well, I mean, but also thinking like, yeah, is that something I really want to? I might want to do it, but am I
Mhm.
going to put in the extra effort?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
Do you have any others, or yeah, you said
I
gymnastics goals or strength goals?
I would like to get a strict pull up.
Oh, awesome.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah,
I
you'll
don't
do
need
that
to
for
have a
sure.
bunch, but I feel like I had gotten closer and then yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I'm
Ugh.
sure you'll achieve that one.
Oops.
Yeah.
So and I mean I would love to do a bar muscle up, but I don't think that's part of I don't see that in 2022 as part of like
Mhm.
what I obtain.
Yeah, I know. I'm not
Does that
ready.
make sense?
I would like to do one of those too, but I don't. I don't necessarily see it happening. I mean, and it seems like of the two of the butterfly pull-ups and a bar muscle ups, seems like the butterfly pull-up would be easier. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I better
I
get
mean,
that one
right?
first.
It's like they're just throwing their bodies around. And
Yeah.
I get the whole like you got to get your hips to pop and then you pull yourself. I would rather I know that I'll be actually strong if I can do a strict pull up versus am I throwing my body around and trying to
Hmm.
like get myself up
Hmm.
and potentially hurt myself or yeah. So it is very I feel like simple. Just a strict jump up on the bar and be completely straight and pull my body so my chest goes to the bar. I would love to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been that strong.
Mm-hmm. Do you know when I was 11, I did 18 strict pull-ups in a row for the freaking, remember the physical fitness test?
Oh yeah.
Which sucked because, you know, I had been doing gymnastics, and then I might have been a little older than 11 by that time. So I might have stopped doing gymnastics, but I still had the strength.
Mm-hmm.
And we had the physical fitness test, which the boys got to do pull-ups. The girls, we had to do this flexed arm hang where we just like had our arms totally bent with our chin over the bar.
I remember this.
And I was not that good at that. I mean, there were other girls that were better than me at that, but I did 18. I was pissed. Right after that, I like jumped up and did 18 pull-ups because I was like, damn it.
Oh my God.
I can do more pull-ups than the boys. And you're making me do this bullshit flex arm hang.
I also feel like they were very strict about how you had your hands. Like you couldn't have your palms facing you. You had to have your palms facing away in those tests.
Yeah.
I know. I think it's totally different now.
Okay. I have no idea what they do now.
They do more of like, did you increase flexibility? Well, maybe they do the same thing.
I
just know that
like there's so few kids now that could probably pass either of those tests.
Well, so I don't know exactly what they did for those tests, but I know that my 5th grade students, so there were 3 total 5th grade classes, and most years my class showed the most improvement over the year, which could tell you a lot of different things.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I would like, oh, really?
Well, what? Yeah. How do you...
Usually I didn't have like the popular athletic kids. Like they always they get put with the teachers that they think are going to vibe with the most. So I always had kind of the group of kids that maybe had some interesting personalities and some quirks. But I always thought that the reason my kids improved more like over the other ones were that I taught them to encourage each other.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
To be proud of the small and little things that they saw differently in their lives.
That makes a lot of sense.
Because they did act like, we had beach parties at the end of the school year. So we'd go to the beach and have picnic or cookout. And I had parents pull me aside from the other classes and just say, your students, like your class, they all just play together. And it was really different because by 5th grade, they're about to go to middle school. So they're, feeling really cool.
Yeah.
And my class is like, nope, we still play together.
That's awesome.
All together. So I think that has such a big impact when you're surrounded by other people that are encouraging. And so I hope that people can find gyms where they don't feel isolated and they feel that people see them and see their small improvements and get celebrated for those things.
I'm so sad that I'm like sad for the world that you're not teaching anymore.
Oh, thank you. Sometimes I'm sad, but I miss the kids. So I do miss some of it, but I would not have lasted the past 2 years. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
With the like on again, off again, on again, off again.
Yeah.
And then the at home learning. I mean,
ugh.
I would have been, I think that maybe you said the statistic of how many kids in Los Angeles like never opened up, like never checked in.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was, but pretty bad.
It makes me sick to my stomach.
No.
I thought about doing like a homeschool center in my basement.
Oh yeah.
Setting up like mainly doing like a reading workshop, a writing
Oh
workshop, and
yeah.
math.
It's a cool idea. Yeah, because then it's like you could still do this, but not so much time for as much time of the day. Or yeah, that's a
Yeah.
great idea.
So it
And
would
you,
have to be kids that are getting homeschooled, which there are
mhm,
so many more now.
yeah.
Um, but there was just something holding me back, and I'm not sure what I think. Partly was my dad, who had been a superintendent, and he's bringing up all these legal questions. And I'm like,
Oh,
I didn't think,
wow.
what?
Okay.
Yeah, and unschooling to me is like where you just we're going to go to the store and we're going to be making this meal, and how do we figure out how
Mhm,
much we need and what do we already have, and kind of
mhm.
some of those life skill things.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to quickly talk about what we should have learned in elementary PE. We should have learned how to breathe.
Yeah.
So we're not trying to be mouth breathers. And we should have learned how to activate our glutes when we squatted down, try to pick something up. Like adult, I'm like, why
Yeah.
didn't I not learn how to squat correctly?
Yeah. Let's get back to goals. Did you have any others?
I mean, this is where I could just start listing all these things that are pie in the sky that I want to have happen.
All
But I
right.
think most realistic for me is the mobility piece.
Mhm.
I am getting my hip hook is on its way.
Ooh,
So very excited about
awesome.
that.
Yeah.
And then the sumo deadlift or deadlift, just improving the strength component of that. And then a strict pull up.
Cool. So how will you measure your thoracic mobility? Is it just with the pictures?
Yeah, I think I'll do the
Mhm.
video,
Video.
and maybe I'll even do like lay on the floor and like bring my head up
Mhm.
and kind of
Oh
have
yeah.
John like measure how
Yeah.
far I can get up,
Cool.
and maybe even just take note of like these are the exercises that I'm going to kind of focus on, and I do like a pre-assessment of how far can I go in these things,
Mhm.
just to yeah have kind of that benchmark, and then
Cool.
I'll be able to measure the progress. What about you? Do you have any more goals?
I do. So one, I would like to run a 5K again.
Fun.
And I I mean, I would love to, like, if I could do it in under 30 minutes, I would be so over the moon excited.
And it's 3.5, 3.2 miles, 3.5,
3.1,
3.1.
3.1.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, so I mean, I never was that fast at it. I I I remember, so I think probably from one of the, when we were at LMU, well, yeah, when I was at LMU, you were there for a summer.
Mm.
But yeah, I did a couple of 5Ks around that time. And I remember that one, I think my best is 28 minutes or so. So
Nice.
20
Yeah.
years later, to be able to get under 30 would be amazing.
Yeah.
Um, and I think maybe I can do it because didn't I was like, I would go for a jog by myself, like for
Hmm.
20 minutes, a couple times a week before
Hmm.
school, before classes. And so I never was that into, I mean, we didn't have like, I mean, yeah, there were Walkmans, but I didn't use one. But now is like, we got music, I got the Nike Run app. Like it's much more quantifiable and motivating, and
Hmm.
we've got like beautiful places to run and stuff, and just the fact that I'm doing work pushing my capacity so
Hmm.
much more with the CrossFit.
Hmm.
I think maybe I can be a better runner, at
Yeah.
least at that distance than I was. So I think the thing is I have to make the time for it.
Yeah.
So CrossFit is fun because it's like social.
Hmm.
It's always different and it's easy to, I just drive down the
Yep.
street. It's so close to me right now.
Somebody else comes up with the plan.
Yeah. So to work in the running is going to be a little harder, but I think if I can do usually just like one run on the weekends,
Hmm.
it might
Yeah.
be enough for a while.
Could you just like
Hmm.
add in one run?
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think I can do that. So That'd be cool. So there's
Nice.
that. And then, I mean, I also like, I'm like, ooh, I'd like to do, I don't know if I want to do a full Murph. I don't think I can
Mm.
do the, well, or maybe I'll do like a Murph with like the full runs, like both the 1 mile runs.
Mhm.
But then I would need to probably use some bands for like 100 pull-ups.
It's a lot of pull-ups.
That's a lot of pull-ups, and it's a fuck ton of push-ups too.
Fuck
200,
ton.
200 push-ups.
And
So
don't you have air squats then too?
yeah, but that for me, it's easy. 300 air squats was like no
I guess I'm
problem.
thinking like mile run plus 300 air squats plus another mile run.
Yeah, but you break it up, right? Like you don't have to do. So I think I was always doing like 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, 15
Okay.
air squats.
Okay.
And then I guess it would be 20 rounds of that.
Okay.
And so that's not that bad. I can't remember if I did. I mean, I was scaling. Obviously, I was doing banded pull-ups, or maybe last year I even did jumping ones. And I did the knee push-ups.
Hmm.
I didn't know there was a thing in my gym at that point, not to, because I'd only been there a month. So I
Yeah.
was like probably the only one doing knee push-ups. I don't know, instead of like box push-ups or whatever. But I don't know, it would be really cool. That's what I was thinking, like right before I hurt my shoulder doing
Mm,
push-ups. But
yeah.
it's fine now. It was just a bit of tendonitis. But like if I were to train to actually do 200 real push-ups, I would probably get tendonitis again. So
Yeah.
I don't know, but I definitely want to have like best Murph that I've had, with the
Cool.
full runs. So yeah, I think those are my goals. Yeah. And then my only other goals are around more of my like new habits. I want to have a habit of like mobility before bed. Just
Mm,
yeah,
hmm.
just using those balls or whatever, that actually calms you down also and gets you ready for sleep. So I think I'm just gonna say 5 minutes, like
Hmm.
in the bedroom actually before bed. Because if I don't have stuff in the bedroom, like I'm not walking to my office. It's not like my office is so far away, but like I realized
No, you're like
it doesn't
in the
happen.
room. Hmm.
Yeah. So that is, and then in the morning, I do have a few new habits in the morning that I want to do, but the only one that's sort of fitness related is just to like do either a few sun salutes or sun
Mm,
salutations, like
hmm.
3 of them, or like hip spin up kind of stuff. Probably right away, probably before I sit to meditate, which I already do, or at least after meditation before I sit to write, because I'm like, when the hell am I going to get writing done now that we have this podcast and I've got like this and that and all this stuff, and I need to keep going with writing stuff. So I decided I would add a few habits in the morning because
Nice.
I am kind of like frittering away some time in the morning, like
Hmm.
just like checking my newsletters and just I
Hmm.
can tell I'm wasting some time that I don't need to waste, or that I can check my newsletters later in the day and take a break, but to waste like the beginning of the day on that kind of
Yeah.
nonsense, I don't want to do anymore.
Yeah. I just checked out from the gym's little like library thing,
Mhm.
the James Nestor book about habits, atomic habits.
Oh, James Clear.
James Clear.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
I was
have
thinking
it.
the Nestor one was the
Can you
breathing one.
see it? I have it right back
Oh yeah. Yeah.
there.
So it's
It's
funny, I
good.
actually had it in my cart, I don't know how many times on Amazon. John and I love to watch Martin Wintergarden, and he used to do Winter Garden Wednesdays. So a couple years ago, he made something called the marble machine, and it doesn't have any electricity. It's kind of like a calliope thing. Is that what that word is? Remember like a music box
Uh-huh.
where it like hits little things and then it has like those tubes that have the different pokes on it that hit the little different things that make the noise. So his marble machine that he designed was all these gears and thousands of marbles, and he would like crank it and then it would start to go and these marbles would fall on, make this amazing music.
Wow.
So he had decided he was going to make the Marble Machine X, and then he was going to do a world tour. And he's just a fascinating, creative guy who for 2 years has been working on this machine and got to a point where he was so frustrated. And this was one of the books that really helped him hone in on, wow, I have to like readjust how I've thought about things and how I structure my day. And I remember watching that particular episode and John kept looking at me like, you should get that. You need to do that too. So I am going to read that this week between Christmas and New Year's and think more about the habits instead of these things that I just want to do, right? Because I have all these ideas, but I don't get to any of them because I don't have the foundation of the good habits to chip away at them. So I do think that will be so fun for us because I admire you so much with how structured, I mean, you're still like free spirited, but how structured and how you're so productive.
Thanks.
And hopefully some of that will rub off through the podcast in the computer to me. Because I do want to write as well. I'd like to have some writing time.
You're a
every
great
morning.
writer.
And that is very cathartic. And right, I've learned, I went to a couple retreat type things where the leader would talk about journaling, but that you needed to journal on something for at least 3 times in a row. And she had a whole like scientific reason, because that first time you're journaling, it's usually kind of like a dump about complaining or, you know, getting it all out. And then the next time you go back to it, there's a little bit more processing. And then, you know, the next time is almost like you're a little bit further away and you can start to see the lessons or maybe see things differently and not be like, it was everybody else's fault. So I don't want to be journaling about like life. I want to actually be using creative juices and writing. Like I really want to do that dumb book. It's not dumb. I want to turn my speech about my being a Great Lakes mermaid. I want to make that into a kid's book. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be really fun. I love the new year for restarting or starting good habits. And for me, it's always like restarting because there's always some things that have devolved. And when we moved, my morning routine devolved. I mean, I'm always like, I've been meditating so many years, like I think 13 years now, that is set. That is not a problem, but so much else of my morning has just felt like, ugh, especially when we moved, because I end up like, instead of reading something good for me in the morning, I'd end up just watching YouTube videos on interior design or whatever. And that I've just not totally gotten back to. I mean, I usually don't watch the videos now, but I still feel like I'm wasting a lot of time. So that has evolved. And then I feel like I'm being too still, like my hips generally, there's something that usually aches in the morning that's like stiffness. I don't know if it's like normal from being old or whatever, but it will help me to do a little bit of hip movements, whether it's sun salutes or like that hip spin up stuff.
How do you keep track? So what do you do once you've made goals? Do you write them down and put them on some sort of board for yourself to look at?
I don't have it in a board. I just have a list.
Like in a notebook?
It won't be in a notebook probably, but so I have my sheets of the, you know, I definitely have and I don't take these totally seriously, the 19 for 2019, 20 for 2020, you know, I think I'll do a 22 for 22, but I don't I actually had to dig to find my 21 for 21. And I was like, oh, kind of surprised by some of the stuff that's on
Mm-hmm.
it. So definitely I don't do like the serious goals like that or the serious like practices or habits. I
Mm.
don't do like that. I make a list, even on an index card is good. And you
Mm-hmm.
only have to look at it until you've got it going as a habit.
Nice. Yeah.
And there's not that many things either. But my friend Jenny's doing a cool thing where she has like really, really small habits that she wants to make. And she's kind of adding
Mm-hmm.
one thing in each month.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what isn't that what the Atomic Habits is about, is breaking those things down into like, I guess somebody was telling me somebody wanted to go to the gym.
Mhm.
So instead of like saying you have to go to the gym, they were like,
Yeah.
for this week, you have to drive there. You just sit in the
Yeah.
parking lot, like breaking it down into like the
Yeah.
smallest little
Small.
pieces.
Yeah. Yeah. This is, yeah, this is a little, I mean, I think each of these things is a thing, like not to
Mm,
kind of build onto that thing, but then you add
okay.
something unrelated. But yeah, I mean, so I came up only with 7 of them so far. But I mean, even like as simple as I'm going to unsubscribe to one thing a day. I think I'll save
Ooh,
that. I'll kind of
that's
save
a
that for later,
great
but I want to set.
idea.
That's the one that I need to start this now. I have so much
Yeah.
crap email, so I might start that now, but also do another. I gotta. I'm so energized by the new year that I feel like I have to start a few things in
Mm-hmm.
January, or I'll just never start them, you know what I mean? So I
Oh,
don't know if
yeah.
I'll do it like this, but like another thing is just a to-do list each morning.
Mm.
That's just like, just getting clear about the things you want to do that day.
I think, oh, what did we've talked about, not you and I, but something about like the top five or my first five. So you make a list of five things that you want, like tonight, make a list of five things. So in the morning, you don't even have to think about it. You've
Yeah.
already thought through. And
Yeah, that's
then
great.
whatever's still left on a list then goes on the next days.
Mhm.
Um, Again, there's all these great ideas that just never seem to work for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done that with 3. That's evolved as well, but like one thing you can do is, for the week, what are the
Mm,
3 most important things
mm,
you need to accomplish that week?
mm-hmm.
And then every day you're like, okay, what are the 3 things that need to get done each day?
Oh yeah, John's whole company when he worked there was
Yeah.
doing that, like a monthly and then a weekly
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
daily
I
and
mean,
mhm.
even start with the yearly, which I do. Like I always set maybe 5 goals for the year, and then go to the month. My friend Julie and I meet every single month to talk about our goals,
Oh my gosh,
like
that's
to
so
talk about
cool.
our month, how it's been going, and then what's this next month about, and set a few goals. Yeah, it's great. It's really helpful.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I love it. You guys out there, please share with us what are your
Yeah,
goals and what is what has our discussion triggered in your mind, and like what do you want to accomplish for the
yeah. What do you
next
want to
year?
accomplish? Are you going to change how you make your goals? Are you going to add something that you never thought you would add because like, oh, I never put a gym goal down.
And actually, yeah, and I mean, we really haven't reviewed our past year. So I would just like to ask you one question, like what are you most proud of about the past year?
I am most proud of how far I've come with embracing my body as is
Mhm.
and the taking care of myself in a healthier way than I ever have. So there have been maybe some self-care things, but I'm really I focus on eating and I have to eat food, which is for a recovering anorexic can be very hard. And
Mhm.
to be able to get to the point where, we go out for dinner and I have to ask for extra something, something. And John's like, you eat so much more than I do.
That's awesome.
And to feel proud of it, I
Yeah,
think.
that's great.
Yeah. And then, and I, part of that whole thing is, um, you know, I I was going through my clothes because I thought, let's sell some things on Poshmark because why not? And realizing how few of my pairs of jeans fit, and not going into a hole and being upset for multiple days.
Mhm.
Because historically, if the jeans didn't fit, then I was having like some sort of mental breakdown about it.
Mhm.
And this time I gifted one of my favorite pairs of jeans from 2004 to somebody else because I couldn't get it even over my thigh. And I'm not sure if I'll ever get back to that. And realizing that I was okay,
Mhm.
that I bought jeans that now fit me. I have to have them tailored because they're a little long, but my butt looks great in them.
That's great.
My new butt,
Yeah.
my new big booty.
Your new butt looks better than your old butt.
Yeah. It does.
No
So yeah, that's what I'm most
offense
proud
to
of.
your old butt or anything. Just
My butt,
saying.
my old butt does not take any offense. It was
Okay.
like a flat pancake butt for sure. What about you? What would you be most proud of from 2021?
I am really proud that I rehabbed my body from, I
Yeah.
mean, there were just a few issues and I did put in the work. Like my physical therapist was like, wow, most people really don't do the exercises when I tell
Yeah.
them to do them. And I'm like, and he's like, yeah, you did all of them. I'm like, hell yes. Like, this is my only chance to,
Yeah.
do this stuff to like keep having fun CrossFitting.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm really happy about that. I am stronger, more flexible in the ways that matter
Hmm.
and or that, help my body and not
Yeah.
hurt it because I could be a little too flexible in some ways. And yeah, I'm in good shape. I think I'm stronger than I have ever been.
And I want to also acknowledge then that you have this other new layer of knowledge and understanding about the mechanics of your body.
Mhm,
I'm going to think most people don't understand how our bodies work.
mhm,
So when they get injured, might be just game over. Oh, I got
mhm.
hurt doing that, so I can't do it anymore.
Right. I know my dad, I remember, he was like, he said something, oh yeah, I was running at one point and then my knee hurt. So I stopped or I had to stop. And it's like,
Right.
what?
Right.
Like, you probably could have done some exercises for it and it would be fine.
So, and that's one thing I really appreciate, like in our friendship, is that I don't always have people in my life that understand that an ache or pain or a symptom isn't the thing that needs to necessarily be fixed, that
Mhm,
there's like layers to it, and that it takes time to figure out what those are, and um, and then the work that goes along with it.
mhm.
It's just a different mindset, I think, that um, sometimes can make some of us a little paralyzed because it seems overwhelming.
Yeah.
But it's true. It's like, yeah, my knee hurts. Well, it's probably because your hips are crazy and you need to
Yeah.
release your iliacus muscle.
Right. Yeah. Well, you think everything's the iliacus muscle now.
This is true. 100%. I think
I could
everybody's
just say,
problems in life are
yeah,
related to their iliacus.
I used to get a knee pain sometimes, during hip hop or whatever. And I found that if I just rode my bike a little
Mm,
bit, the knee pain went away. So it could be just weak quads.
right? You were just activating them finally.
Just
Hmm.
another
And I mean,
possibility.
oh my gosh, I just wish I could go to school for, I don't
Could.
know. I just, it'd be so fascinating.
Mhm. All
So,
right. We gotta stop.
yeah. Hmm. Oh my
All right.
gosh.
Yeah.
I need to
Share
go
with
like
us how
make
you're,
Christmas Eve dinner. Sorry.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Share with us your goals and we wish you a happy, healthy 2022.
Cheers, everyone.
Yeah.
Remember,
Oh, remember,
friends
friends help
help friends
friends stay
stay fit.
fit. Yay!